Were you or someone in your family injured in an accident involving a big truck? Chances are, while you were at the hospital, the insurance company was already on the scene with lawyers and crash experts trying to build a case against you. You need a skilled legal team on your side, and you need it immediately. I'm Austin Jackson. My law firm has experience, resources, and experts of our own to get you the results you deserve. Injured? Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy. 706-724-7224.
So you've got these projects.
Wrdw.com. Click, click.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
A family still searching for answers tonight after a child buried at this cemetery right behind us is unable to be found.
Jada Hickman passed at just 6 months old. She was buried here at Hillcrest Memorial, but now the family had moved elsewhere, and her parents decided to exhume her and cremate her remains. But when Hillcrest Memorial went to recover the casket, they found absolutely nothing.
Absolutely devastating for the families. The memorial told Jaden's family it's because of the passage of time. Our Sydney Hood is live in our newsroom in Sydney. The family says it's not a question of whether or not Jada was ever buried because there were several people present the day of the funeral.
Multiple people present that day, Meredith, and most of them saw little Jada's body in her casket. Her family says it was a white metal casket and she had on a white dress. The big thing her family is questioning right now is, why isn't there any trace of her? Again, the cemetery told them through an email dated September 2023 it was, quote, due to the passage of time. But they aren't accepting that as a final answer. I spoke to Jada's grandfather, and he says that day, the day that Jada was buried, is one he wouldn't have forgotten.
You can't accept something like that. If that happened, that would be some evidence of something, I would think, part of the casket, shoelaces or something had to be left.
Believe it or not, this family is optimistic. They'll get closure from this, but as we'll show you on News 12 at 6 o'clock, they are having a hard time keeping that attitude, especially when they say they still need answers.
Answers and closure. You never expect something like this to ever happen.
No, and it's something that you can't go and check up on at a later time, and it begs the question, are other families going to have the same thing happen as well? A story that's very strange keeps getting stranger as well.
Sure does. Thanks for that update, Sydney.
All right, you're taking a live look outside over Walton Way here on a sunny afternoon. And the week's forecast for you in just a bit. All right, thanks, Riley. It's been nearly 2 months since Jamila Smith went missing. Aiken County investigators have since ruled her case a homicide, though no body has been found. Her ex-boyfriend, Daniel Harmon, is charged with her kidnapping and murder and is in jail tonight. Today, Jamila's family holding a press conference outside the Aiken County Sheriff's Office to discuss the case. Among the topics discussed, her father touched on the range of emotions they've been feeling.
If you're a daddy and that's your firstborn, you gotta realize it's a different effect than those that got other kids that they firstborn. So for me, it's heartbreaking, but it's tough. It's always gonna be tough. Every song, everything that comes along that you think about your daughter.
Jamila's last known location was at her home on Old Jackson Highway in Aiken. Back on December 2nd, she had called 911 saying her ex-boyfriend had broken into her home and was chasing her down the road. The dispatcher heard a car revving, Jamila could be heard screaming, and then a man telling her to get in the car. Authorities continue to investigate this case and say if you know anything big or small to call law enforcement.
Payne College students off to a shaky start this week after the campus was closed for several hours this morning. A note sent to students and staff said the closure was out of an abundance of caution after a number of COVID cases on campus. Signs posted at the gate saying the closure was due to campus safety. Campus police say the college was back open by noon. Some students and staff are now working remotely, and the campus is enforcing a mask mandate until further notice.
Convicted killer Alec Murdaugh will not get a new murder trial. That decision coming down just in the last half hour by a judge in Columbia. Since Friday, the jurors who handed Murdaugh his murder conviction testified in court. Murdoch's team hoping for a new trial by trying to prove Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill influenced the jurors into handing down that verdict. One of the jurors today telling the judge she heard Hill say, quote, "Watch his actions."
Was your verdict influenced in any way by the communications of the clerk of court in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And how was it influenced?
She made it seem like he was already guilty.
Becky Hill also took the stand today denying all the accusations made by Murdoch's defense.
At any time did you tell the jury not to be fooled by evidence presented by Mr. Murdoch's attorneys?
I did not.
At any time did you instruct the jury to watch him closely and look at his actions?
I did not.
And it seems like that was enough for the judge. This is a preliminary ruling. The judge will accept motions for a few days before finalizing the order.
The city of Thompson has a new police chief. Chief Daniel Carrier was sworn in just in the last hour. Carrier has worked in law enforcement since 1996. He's worked for the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. He succeeds Courtney Gale, Thompson's first female police chief. In December, she announced she was leaving to become chief of Watkinsville. A heads up to those of you who work at Fort Eisenhower. Starting Monday, you can only use Gate 1 at Gordon Highway and Jimmy Dice Parkway if you have a Department of Defense ID card. This is to crack down on safety concerns caused by the morning traffic surge. The new rule will be in effect every weekday, Monday through Friday, from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. All other pass holders should use Gates 5 and 6. If you're looking for a way to vent out some anger, broad axe throwing might just have the thing for you. Yep, sharp objects. That
And
could work.
alcohol.
Yeah, the downtown Augusta business is launching a brand new recreational axe throwing league every Tuesday night, starting tomorrow. Folks as young as 10 can learn the sport and compete, leading up to a tournament in March.
It's a sport that once you get into it, anybody can do it. It's not like you don't have to be like a top tier athlete. I mean, you are training, but you're not having to go through some of the rigorous training that pro basketball players, pro NFL players are going through.
Well, that's good to know. 2 Augusta players are representing Augusta later this year when they play against the top players in the world for the World Axe Throwing League Championship. Okay, that is the highest level for this sport.
I
Okay,
will see you out there, Meredith.
that could be fun.
I agree.
I'd be dangerous, though. Stay
Yeah.
away from me.
I'll be 4 stalls down from you,
Yep.
just to be sure. Well, Augusta Regional Airport is getting ready for an influx of visitors for Masters Week. That's because American Airlines has added more direct flights to make sure people get the most out of their Masters experience. The airline will offer flights to several major cities, including New York, Boston, and Phoenix. The airport's director says that these are the most flights and destinations that they have ever received. You can check those out on our website, wrdw.com.
The world is coming to Augusta. Georgia lawmakers spearheading new legislation hoping to save the lives of mothers and their babies. We'll explain how next. Riley?
Well, beautiful weather out there today to start off the work week, and most of the week does look very nice for us. We'll have that full forecast just after break.
Time and temp, brought to you by Jamie.
Saturday, but there is going to be the opportunity for more rain showing up by Sunday.
Thanks, Riley. A new idea to save the lives of new mothers and their babies by teaching young women about pregnancy while they're still in high school.
A state lawmaker is pushing for a new class to fight the ongoing crisis of infant and maternal deaths. Abby Kasoris breaks down what it might look like.
This bill would require the state's Board of Education work with the Department of Public Health to create a new course for high school students to learn about pregnancy and human development.
We have to prepare them for that.
Representative Lauren Daniel is carrying the bill. Daniel cites the Department of Public Health's maternal mortality report, analyzing the number of women who died in Georgia between 2012 and 2020. Roughly half of those women died because of a condition related to their pregnancy. A majority of the women who died had a high school degree or less. The report found roughly 89% of those deaths were preventable.
If we are going to catch these women and give them the knowledge that they need to understand how to best take care of themselves and how to take care of their infants,
This new bill hopes to meet young moms where they are, often still in high school. According to Georgia law, each district's Board of Education can implement their own sex education course, but the Georgia Board of Standards doesn't mention anything about childbirth in sex ed. This bill would mandate students learn the signs and symptoms of distress during pregnancy and delivery, hopefully saving a life.
Some of the conditions that we see, like preeclampsia, has some symptoms that, like your headache, you might get a headache, your blood pressure is high. I want people to know that so that they know what to look out for and when to seek help.
Daniel is sponsoring another bill to create the Georgia Commission for Maternal and Infant Health, made up of OBGYNs, doctors, and midwives from across the state. She wants that commission to give a report to state lawmakers, figure out ways that they can enact legislation to reverse statistics. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Casores.
Every now and then I find a new iPhone feature that blows my mind. I'm Jamie Tucker, coming up with a little-known camera tool that can help you in the laundry room.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Hey guys, it's Anna Christina here. As we gear up for home improvement season, it's crucial to consider the first line of defense for your home against the elements, your roof. Roof Savers is now offering our community an excellent and budget-friendly roofing treatment that's a scientifically proven solution that can reverse the age of asphalt shingle roofs by up to 15 years. I'm joined by Russell Beckham. He's one of the owners of Roof Savers, and over the past couple of years, our customers have been so delighted with the amount of money they've been able to save to not have to go through a full roof replacement because of the roof rejuvenation process. Talk to us about what it is and how that's possible.
Sure. So roof rejuvenation is the process of extending the life of asphalt shingles by increasing granular adhesion and also bringing back the flexibility so that the shingles can do what they're designed to do and protect your home.
Absolutely, and people are very happy about that. And Russell, there's some exciting news. You guys have an exclusive product now called Renew It that can actually help extend the life of metal roofs. How are you guys able to do this?
So it's really exciting. So rust is something that occurs naturally on a metal surface. And what causes rust is a process called oxidation. So we now have a protective coating that can prevent water and oxygen from reaching the metal and causing rust. Now, as an added benefit, which is great for the customer, we bring the color of the old metal to like new again.
Russell, that's so exciting, saving roofs all the way around, whether it's asphalt shingles or metal. You can dial the number on your screen right now for a free roof inspection to determine if your roof qualifies. Our operators are available 24 hours a day to assist you. By taking this simple step, you could potentially save thousands of dollars this year and stop the need for a costly and time-consuming roof replacement. Roof Savers, save your roof, save your money.
We're here for Georgia. That means Georgia Power is committed to providing tips, tools, and assistance that can help make a difference for our customers. We're not just powering Georgia, we're powering Georgians. Learn more at georgiapower.com/myenergy.
Okay, smartphones are great, and these days, there's really not much they can do.
Yeah, they can do everything, and while they can't fold your laundry, though, they can help you wash them properly. Our consumer tech reporter, Jamie Tucker, explains how.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
Well, you know these tags on clothing that tells you the best way to take care of the garment? You know, they look like this, kind of hieroglyphics. Even if you can see them, you don't know what they mean. Well, new in iOS 17 is something called Visual Search that will interpret the tags when you take a picture of them. Just take a photo of the clothing label, then tap the icon for information that contains details about where the photo was taken, the lens, and other data saved by the camera. But above all of that is laundry care. Yep, the iPhone now understands that these symbols come from a garment label. Tap it and each symbol is interpreted to something we can understand. This symbol, that appears to be a round face and two eyes, actually means tumble drying is okay, but at a maximum of 80 degrees Celsius. On a sweater, that symbol has just one eye or dot, which means tumble dry at a maximum of 60 degrees Celsius. There are symbols for the recommended wash temperature, whether an article can be dry cleaned or ironed. Who knew this symbol could be an iron? And if you tap on a translation, you'll be taken to a website with even more details. You can also use visual search on a car dashboard to see what those lights mean. Sorry, Android fans, I really thought Google Lens would do something like this. It does not. I only wish I had learned about this little trick sooner. Maybe my shirts would still fit. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
A former South Carolina governor will soon begin teaching at the University of South Carolina. David Beasley served as governor from 1995 to 99. Beasley will be a full-time distinguished professor of practice and public service in the Rice School of Law. Beasley graduated from USC's School of Law himself in 1979.
We're about 6 months or so away from college football kicking off again. Not that we're counting. There's never a bad time, though, to get excited about the upcoming season.
I can't believe the season's already over
I
now.
know,
But the ACC has released its schedule for the 2024 season. Our sports director, Dan Booth, joins us live, and he's breaking down the biggest matchups for Georgia Tech and Clemson. Dan.
Both Georgia Tech and Clemson had strong finishes to the 2023 season, with the Yellow Jackets and the Tigers winning their bowl games, creating some hype heading into the fall. Georgia Tech is kicking off their regular season against Florida State, but that game won't be played in Atlanta or Tallahassee. Instead, they'll be hitting the gridiron in Dublin, Ireland. After coming back from overseas, the Jackets will have a bunch of interesting matchups in ACC play, including a tough game against North Carolina on the road and a showdown with Notre Dame at the Benz. And then the Jackets will be closing out their regular season in Athens against the Dogs. Speaking of the Dogs, that's who Dat Boy Sweeney's Tigers will be facing out the gate at the Benz. Talk about a great opening week matchup. In addition to the usual suspects, the Tigers will be hosting Stanford, who along with the University of California and SMU are joining the ACC this year. Clemson will finish their 2024 schedule with their annual showdown against Will's South Carolina Gamecocks. The Tigers won the Palmetto Bowl at Williams-Brice in November, setting the stage for another fun chapter in this great rivalry this year up in Death Valley.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. Looking ahead to the weekend forecast. Looking beautiful Saturday, but unfortunately the chance for showers does move back in Sunday. Another quick look at that forecast for you just after the break.
The BrandsMart Blind, only at BrandsMart USA.
A staple side dish in Southern cuisine could soon be needed into the Georgia law books. A new proposed bill would designate cornbread as the official state bread.
House Bill 1048 says the history of the peach state is very closely associated with the traditions of corn. And if signed into law, cornbread will join the peach, Vidalia onions, and grits in state-designated foods.
Hungry now.
I think Iowa, though, is going to have a bone to pick with Georgia over this.
Explain why.
Because, I mean, Iowa and all the corn that's grown in Iowa?
Maybe the corn huskers in Nebraska would have something to say.
Well, I think the controversy is going to be, should cornbread be sweet or not? Because you ask a lot of Southern people, they don't like sweet cornbread.
I
personally like sweet cornbread.
I'll have it either way.
It's like a dessert.
It is. But when it's not sweet, it just kind of seems dry. But some people like it that way. Some people say that's a staple of cornbread. But hey, we got a beautiful look over the Savannah River. We're getting close to sunset. You can see that sun just dip below the horizon there. Temperatures are going to cool off pretty quickly tonight. So if you're heading out, we just dropped about 5 degrees within the last hour. So we'll continue to drop into the 40s over the next couple of hours, eventually getting close to freezing by daybreak tomorrow morning. So a cold start heading out to the bus stop tomorrow afternoon should be beautiful. We'll see high temps close to 60 degrees and luckily plenty of sunshine again for our Tuesday. Now for Wednesday, it is going to be a little bit breezier and also cooler. High temps will drop back off into the 50s, but most of the work week does stay dry and those high temps get back into the 60s Thursday and warmer than average heading into the weekend before more rain Sunday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
This is not you.
It's not me.